Okay, let's try this again. Hello, beautifuls. How are y'all doing? I hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's had a good week. And let me get chat pulled up so we can see what's going on. All right. Thank you, Annabella, for being here and everybody that's in the bushes. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Y'all are so sweet. Well, I know everybody is talking about Sebastian Rogers, and that's great because we really need to find him as well. But I do want to go back to Summer today and talk about her a little bit. I got a text message, and it was from Annabella's Honeys, and it had a link. So I opened it up. I started playing it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to share this with you guys. So I got in touch with the creator of the video, and he gave us permission to be able to watch this. So I hope that when we play it here in just a minute, that it really kind of takes you back to the very beginning and gets your mind thinking, because we can't forget about Summer, and we've got to do our best to know what we know now and go back to the beginning and see what's changed. So once we do this video, I'm going to put out a link. I want y'all to come up, tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think from seeing all of this from the very get-go of it all to where we're at now and what your thoughts are. So we're going to do that. Hi, Sonia. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate you. Okay, guys, let me get this going. See if I can do it this time. And total credit is going to go to Truth for Reality. And I am going to put this out here. Disclaimer, although, he has given us his blessings, I am going to put that out. Is that showing up? There it goes. Okay. But he did tell me that he has started working on a part 2. So I'm really excited about that. So, guys, here we go. All credit goes to Truth for Reality. And so we'll drop his link. It is in the description of this video, so you can always grab his link, but y'all go sub up to him because he does a really great job. So here we go, guys.
We begin with new details and new interviews on a case that we have been covering extensively here on News Nation Prime. 5-year-old Summer Wells has been missing for 5 months. Her parents
Are y'all seeing it at all? Hey, can y'all see this? Okay. Let me try this again. I hate trying to get this done. It's crazy. Okay, let me do this. Do this. Let's do this. This. Wait, let's go here. Okay, here we go. Y'all let me know, yes or no. It won't work here. Can y'all see that? Yay! Okay, here we go. Let's watch this.
We begin with new details and new interviews on a case that we have been covering extensively here on News Nation Prime. 5-year-old Summer Wells has been missing for 5 months. Her parents say she vanished within minutes from their home in Rogersville, Tennessee. But months of searching have come up empty. There have been no new leads and no evidence, not even a sighting of Summer. And suspicion has started to turn to her parents, Don and Candace Wells. They have been adamant that Summer was abducted. 5-year-olds don't just vanish.
Don't just vanish. Where is the daughter? What happened? What happened? What happened? Where is Summer's daughter?
Let me get this straight. You YouTube creators out there think you're going to solve the Summer Wells case, right? There has been no proof that the family's been involved, but you all have no problem accusing them. I'd be a little careful.
Hey, Rita, thanks for being here.
In 1775, the town of Rogersville, Tennessee, would be founded. There would remain a small population, even to this day. There's shortly over 4,000 people. 1 out of every 23 residents will experience property crime. However, 1 in every 359 will fall victim to a violent crime. Those are pretty high statistics for the small population itself, knowing that it's only 4,307 people. The town of Rogersville was once known for its extremely old courthouse and an extremely old post office. In fact, it's one of the oldest in America. But recently, it's been known for the headlines that has spread throughout the country. The name of Summer Wells is slowly becoming a household name. There are a lot of cases that I've explored, a lot of cases that run deep. But this rabbit hole just goes way deeper than the average case does. One of the chilling elements of this case is that if you study and analyze everything, every piece of evidence known to this case, and it's not a lot, and most of it is pure speculation. But when you get done analyzing everything, you will end back up at square one. So I will simply lay out the details and you form your own conclusion, because that's the only way that this can be done. There are no certain answers in this case because there's no concrete evidence. However, there are background stories and chilling details that do bring somewhat of a light to this situation. Tucked away in a rural area of Hawkins County lies a family, the Wells family. The man of the house is Donald Wells, and that is where this story begins. Donald Wells was known as a troubled person. He was what they called a very troubled teen, and even on into his adult years, he admits himself that he spent a lot of time in and out of jail. While Don Wells was living the dark side of life, fate would manage to bring someone in his path. He would be in the state of Arkansas. There, he would meet his current wife, Candace Wells. Shortly after, Don Wells would have a passing in the family, in which then he would be left at acres of property in Rogersville, Tennessee. There would live the Wells family. 4 children, Candace, his mother, and Don Wells. But there was a young star that lived on that property. Her name was Summer Wells. The world would make way for her on February 4th of 2015. Summer was a force to be reckoned with. People describe her as tough as nails. She was a tomboy. She enjoyed doing all of the things that her brothers did. Anything that you can think of that a young country boy would do, Summer did it. Though Don Wells was unmistakably the king of the castle, the queen title was held by Summer. In the year of 2021, Summer would be 5 years old, but she did have an old soul. She's described as being very mature for her age. Has a lot of intelligence. She was so mature that she felt like she had outgrown the cartoon Frozen by the age of 5 and had moved on to other things such as the cartoon Paw Patrol. Maybe we had an investigator in the making. June 15, 2021. It would be a normal day for Summer. June 15, something would happen that would rock that town to its very foundation. The queen of the house would disappear and vanish without a trace. And with her disappearance would come the opening of Pandora's box. And with it opening, the skeletons in the closet would slowly be revealed. There's a troubling past to this story, but I don't think anyone expected it to be this dark.
That 5-year-old girl has been missing since June 15th. Her mother, Candace, says that they were planting flowers at the front of the house with Grandma when Summer decided to go back inside the house. Now, that is where her 3 brothers were on the internet, watching TV. And Mom says she then came inside herself and asked the boys, "Where's Summer? Where's your sister?" And those brothers said she'd gone downstairs to play. But nobody could find her in that house.
I was at work and I got a frantic call from my wife. And I said, hang up and call 911. And I called 911 and I come from work and drove home as fast as I possibly could and drove to the bottom of our property. And I seen my boys here walking around and my neighbors all looking and searching. And I knew right then that she was gone. Because she don't never leave the property by herself anymore.
On the day that Summer Wells disappeared, there were a lot of odd circumstances. One being the fact that everyone was at the house except for Don Wells, and it just seemed unlikely that someone would come on the property that boldly and take someone. So if someone did take her, it had to be someone familiar with the area, familiar with Summer, someone she undoubtedly knew. With no evidence to clear anyone, suspicion would quickly turn on the parents. And that's when the skeletons in the closet would begin to come out.
Because there are 2 aspects to this case: the search for Summer and the investigation into how she disappeared. Part of that investigation has involved looking into the family. As we reported earlier this week, Summer's father, Donald Wells, was arrested last year for domestic assault. News Channel 11's Amy Cochran has been looking into Wells' criminal past and found he has also previously faced charges in other states.
Josh and Sarah, I spent the day looking into Donald Wells' previous charges in Utah, Arkansas, and Tennessee. The Arkansas charges include possession of controlled counterfeit substances without a prescription and burglary. Those charges occurred between 2006 and 2007. In Utah, Wells faced multiple charges from 1990 to 2001. He pled guilty to attempted aggravated assault, interfering with a public servant, forgery, burglary of a dwelling, and theft. When we asked Wells earlier this week if he would like to address his criminal history, he said, quote, "It's in the past and we'll leave it there," end quote.
Footage would quickly begin to surface of Summer on the day that she disappeared. On the morning of June 15th, I would imagine that this day would be kind of typical for Summer. She ran a few errands with her mom, and then they ended up at a chill spot, a lake, where they go for a short swim. So Candace is there doing what she does. Summer's having fun, and they're accompanied by a 15-year-old boy named Hunter. So Candace, Summer, and a 15-year-old boy named Hunter are here chilling at this lake. Hunter is described as a friend of the family. He comes over, plays with the kids. He's well acquainted with the parents. Just a big brother, little sister situation. Now, when this information was released, this is when suspicion was cast on Hunter. Now, when he speaks about the brother-sister situation, in my experience, I understand what he means. I grew up around a lot of children, children that were older than me, and we had a lot of families that we were close with that we considered to be brother and sister of no blood relation. So I understand exactly what he means, but in some people's eyes, a 15-year-old playing with a 5-year-old that has no blood relation to him just seems, I guess, kind of off. Now, when it comes to people casting suspicion, I don't blame you. It's 2022. People are crazy out here, but I have to be honest about this situation and why I feel like he was targeted. Because if I'm trying to tread lightly here, if Hunter was, say, living in a middle-class neighborhood with a nice family, dressed in nice clothes, he probably never would have been targeted in the first place. But because this is an old down country home family and, it's surrounded by problematic situations, he's automatically suspicious just because of his surroundings. And I feel like that's totally wrong. But I'll move on from that situation before I start to get political, because this country is rich against poor, and it has always been that way. So wake the hell up. So now the suspicion is being cast on Hunter as well as the family. But that's not the end of the road, because another person is about to come in play. Because the day before Summer disappeared, Don had an awkward altercation on the job. Don would end up, in fact, firing this employee. He says that this employee came to the job. He was obviously out of his mind, high. And he said it was taking him a couple of hours to complete a short task, and he's just always wired up, so he had to let him go. So Don says after this occurred, he tried to do everything in his power to get back at him, including trying to get him fired, and he feels like he would do anything to try to slander his name or get back at him for taking his job. The authorities said that they checked him out. Turns out that this guy has a solid alibi, so I don't think they're really looking at him too much. Now, Don is very adamant that on the day Summer went missing, he repeatedly told the police, "She's not in the woods. Someone took her." But he feels like that they were wasting their time and resources on searching around the area when they should have been hitting the streets and blocking off bigger cities, because in his heart, he just knew that Summer was already gone. So it's just the Wells family and their sea of problems. But more problems were on the horizon. In fact, the problems were just beginning.
We are nearing 6 weeks since Summer Wells was reported missing from her home in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County, prompting a statewide Amber Alert and multi-agency search and investigation. That case not only spreading far, with agencies from all around this area involved, but also with interest from around the world.
Yeah, Ainsley Daniel spoke with the host of the J for Justice podcast, who had Don Wells on the podcast last weekend, where he confirmed how the Department of Children's Services is now involved.
Josh and Sarah, last week we told you the Department of Children's Services was involved in the Summer Wells investigation. Over the weekend, Summer's father, Don, confirmed on the J is for Justice podcast that their other children had been removed from the home.
The rumor is that they were taken out of the home. Were they taken from you guys? Were they? Oh, no. Yesterday?
A couple days ago.
Jennifer.
Of creation, where nothing is real. Nothing but potential steers the wheel. Can you do what you want to do? 'Cause I believe that it's rare. Only bad speak.
Losing hope. Well, I wonder if I'll ever see her again. I mean, I don't want to lose hope, but Yeah.
The first rays of the sun hit the fresh green leaves, and a rabbit not many weeks old eats some greens and shows some trust to a perfect stranger. And I wanna feel and see more, but I'm trapped inside. I'm a prisoner of the past, though I know that things don't last. I'm going home, but I don't know the way. If I'm lucky, I'll live halfway. If I'm unlucky, I only have today. What kind of plan is this? Needs to be shown.
Okay, guys. So what did y'all think about that video? I personally thought what an amazing job he did, first of all. The narration, the things he talked about, the pictures he showed, they were really good. And hey, Rita, thanks for being here. And Pretty Cesar, thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all. Victoria. You know, I did notice a few things when I was watching this. And if you look at Dawn and Candace right there at the very, very beginning, and you look at them now, just 3 years, almost 3 years. Y'all, if you stop and think about it, in 3 months, it will be 3 years. And in just that short time, they have aged so much. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Bailey. Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, I did notice that they just aged so much. The stress, the worry, the anxiety, you know, trying to stay drunk and stay high and try to forget all about it. Yeah, it's taken its toll. Hey, Kim. Thanks for being here. It has. It has been hell for sure. But, you know, just to see how she was that day in that creek or the little pond there, and to think about that was the last normal that she would know. The last little bit of happiness and being a kid, worry free, not thinking about the world. You just see her laughing and carrying on and jumping out of the water and falling down in the water. And then I think about that was the last time that she would ever get to experience that. And that little video just almost breaks my heart. But I do think he did an amazing job with it. He did tell me that he has started a part 2. So we'll be looking out for that. And like I said before the video, special thanks to Truth for Reality because he allowed us to share that and to play it. And he was proud that I had asked him to play his video. So we thank him so much for that. But, oh, I know, Annabelle, I can't wait for part 2. It's just like, if that one was that good, and since all that has happened, and you think about what's happened since, Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. So I am going to put the link up. Anybody wants to come up, y'all just come up. You don't have to show your face or anything. Oh, you're welcome, predecessor. But y'all come up and just talk and tell me what you think. Just seeing all of that from the beginning again to where it was from that first day, leading up to that first day. You know, we don't talk about Dudley Ajon much anymore. So, kind of reminded us that he was part of that story. And, you know, I don't know if y'all saw or recognized Dawn was talking about the possibility of not seeing her anymore, and his eyes were red and bloodshot. I don't believe it was from being high. I think it was from crying because he seemed pretty normal. But yeah, I mean, thank you. Reminded me of a historic documentary. I can't believe it's almost 3 years. Yes, Bailey. Yes. And I love his voice and the way he talked and told the story. Oh man, it was so good. Who was on the run? Wait, you said, I wonder if he's still on the run or has he been caught? Kim, what are we talking about? Yeah, I do think he was crying. That's just my opinion, but I do think he was crying. And you know, oh, Ajon. Okay. Dudley, I have no clue. No clue. And you know, Dawn does talk about him being methed up, and that's the reason he had to fire him. And then he a little bit later gets arrested for meth. So, Rita said, in his mind, he knows that he won't ever get to see her again, only in the resurrection. Yeah, Rita. Yes. Your voice chatting. Every time I voice chat, I don't know if I got enough of a twang or something to my talk, but he puts all kinds of wrong words in there, so I just quit. But yeah, I think Dawn knows. Hey, Tracy. Thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. You'll have to go back and look. I don't know if you saw the video we played, but definitely go back and watch it. It's worth it. I just really enjoyed it. Everything he talked about, you know, it just kind of really brought you back to that beginning. And so from there, we know so much more characters to the story. And it's crazy how many RSOs that we have identified that live around that area and dealers. Yes, I agree with you, predecessor. You know, if I've said this before, I'll say it again, even if they are the ones that did something to Summer, if they have any kind of feelings or anything in their soul, they pretty much hate themselves in there. Deep down, they hate themselves and they're miserable. You know, I would hope that anybody that took a life would be that miserable because they deserve it. But I don't know. I'm so ready to know those answers. I'm so ready to find out just what the heck happened to this baby girl. It's crazy. Yes, he did a great job describing summer. He really did. Oh, I just I can probably listen to his voice 100 times over. He just has a very soothing and calming voice. And I think he did a really great job with the video. But just seeing it just took me completely back to the very beginning of every bit of it. And that's where we need to go back to and move forward slowly, knowing what we know now. Are there gaps in there that we haven't filled in yet? If so, that's where we need to start looking. Did we get so overwhelmed when Jose came on the scene that we left something hanging over here? We need to go back and double check it. Those kind of things. That's what we need to figure out. And we might not be the ones to find Summer. But by golly, we're going to be the ones to keep her name going. And we're going to be the ones that are going to, I don't know, guys, I'm ready to start poking the bears around there. I'm ready to start shaking that tree up. Kim says, I don't believe it. In my opinion, I think we've been wrong from the beginning. I believe that perp is out there sitting high, setting his sights on some other child. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It is so hard to not put somebody as the culprit who did it because your feelings are so strong that they did do it. And I'm doing that. And I was thinking about it today with the Sebastian Roberts case. In my opinion, that mother did something to her child. And that stepdaddy, he come and helped her clean it up, y'all. That's what I feel. I feel it in my bones. I really, really think that. But we don't know. And just like with Summer, and I put out a community post today, I've talked about Caleb Harris out of Corpus Christi that just vanished. He was walking around that night barefooted. Summer just vanished. She was barefooted. Sebastian, he just disappeared. And he was barefooted. Yeah. Now, see, Kim, I have a thought about that. I think the stepdad should take a polygraph. I really think he should. And I honestly think, no truth to this that's been proven. This is my opinion. I believe the mom pretty much snapped on Sebastian. Something happened. And that midnight call that lasted till around midnight or whatever, that's a call that all he had to do was say hello. Hang on just a second, guys. Yeah, what's up? Are you going to stay a while? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll get with you in just a minute. Okay. Anyways. But I do think that phone was answered in Memphis where he worked. I think that phone might have laid there. I think on her end, she didn't hang up. And it would have took him about 3 hours, which would have been about 3 a.m. when we saw flashlights in the backyard. And we only saw one flashlight hurry back up in the house. And it would take him about 3 to 3.5 hours later to get back to Memphis. And that would have been about the time she calls him again. And then they do a 3-way call. That's my thoughts. Because if he just laid his phone down and she did not hang up, that phone's going to ping there all night long. Yeah. Kim, I'm worried about that. I really am worried about the fact that it might turn into a Summers case. So I don't know if it was the dad or not, but that's kind of my thought. Karen, well, hello. Hello from East Texas. I don't know what part of Texas you're in, but hello from East Texas. But yeah, that's kind of my thought on Sebastian's. Only because that timeline would fit. But you know, oh, Alvin. Yeah, we used to live in Pearland and my in-laws lived in Bay City. So yeah, we passed by there a lot. It's pretty down there. But welcome. And Karen, if you didn't watch the video that we played earlier, go watch it. It's really good. It's very good. But I do think that this all started out with Summer to where it was kind of just one of those, okay, she's out here somewhere. We got to get busy searching. They were searching. I really think people, oh, wow, how cool. But I really think that they thought that somebody would find her. I mean, most of us kind of thought that she's there somewhere, but where? And I don't think Ronnie Lawson wanted her found, because if he had, he would have done more than just a couple of miles away from the house. He would have searched a lot further out. But I know most of y'all covered, the Riley strain in Nashville, and we've all been covering Sebastian. Well, the ironic part is, with YouTube, we help build up that media presence. I really think we're a big part of keeping that story out there. Now, there are some creators that kind of cross the line sometimes, and that puts kind of a bad taste in everybody's mouth with us. But we kept pushing that story. Yes, Annabelle, I wish we knew who was speeding away in that vehicle that day. But the cops didn't seem worried about that, and that is the weirdest thing to me. There's a child abducted in this vehicle speeding past a policeman, then hello, there's got to be something to that. But what I was saying about Riley and Sebastian, here's Riley. We can't find him. We're talking about him. We're showing videos about him. They start looking in the lake, the river right there, and they found a body. They found a body. It was a woman, but they found a body. But with Sebastian, I was watching JLR when that dog started circling and barking and circling, and then climbed up on that dirt mound and just laid down. And guys, my stomach just dropped. I had chills. I was like, oh my gosh, this baby's under that dirt. I was just like beside myself. but it turned out to be someone else. And so with us sitting here talking about these things, talking about Summer, talking about Riley, talking about Sebastian, talking about Caleb, all these things that we're talking about, and it keeps it out there, and we've helped to find 2 people that wasn't being looked for, but because they were out looking for Sebastian, they were found. You know, that's so good, because the one that was buried could have stayed there for a very long time and nobody would have ever known, because there was nobody searching right there for him. So, yes, JLR got a lot of criticism for being out there walking around and videoing it. But guys, he wasn't touching anything. He wasn't doing anything wrong. And I praise him for making those trips, to be a part of it, to show what's happening behind the scenes. You know, because you kind of wonder in your mind and get this idea of how it's going and what, you know, being done or how they're going about it. And sometimes it's just not even true. So to see it, that's really cool. I have so enjoyed watching his videos. And Annabella had got in touch with me one day and said, "Sister, you need to look at JLR. You know, there's immigrants coming across in your state." And I'm like, "What?" You know, they come across all the time. And I wasn't real worried about it. Well, I went over there and I'm like, holy crap. I live here in the state of Texas, and nothing was on the news about how many immigrants were walking across that river to get here, going through barbed wire just to get here. It's crazy. You think it's wrong, Kim? You know, I can agree with you on that, because I think that's why they wanted it to stop, because if they thought that they had found him or whatever, and say that that was Riley right there, then yeah, whoever buried him there could always show back up and move the body or something. But I do give JLR credit. He goes to places that not everybody goes to. He gets stories. He talks to different people. I think he's been doing a good job. And, you know, Dolly's there. Kudos to him as well. If you can do it and you can search and be part of the group, that's great. But yeah, he even takes you to breakfast and dinner. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I wonder, I've heard Lawson say that Summer could have been moved several times. What do y'all think? Do y'all think she could have been moved? Do you think she was moved? I'm kind of conflicted on that. But I really think there might be some truth in that. But I just wonder why Lawson would say that. Okay, Dolly's back on his way back home. Good for Dolly. I hope he has a great trip. How do they know she's been moved unless they knew where she originally was? That's my wonder. That's my question. How are you going to say, well, you know, we really feel like she's been moved around several times around this holler. Most people just bury a body and don't go back. But then the sheriff comes out and says it. I think he knows. I think he knows who's involved. And I think he's protecting a whole lot of people. You don't think she's in, or you think she's in a place that hasn't been searched. Yeah. Yeah. Several times, Rita, you think? I think she has been moved several times. I really do. Because I think they've gotten to searching, and that search might be a little too close. And so she gets moved. That's what I think. Yeah. I agree, Kim. They know more. They know way more than they want to say, because that's such a strange thing to say. Why is the sheriff going to say that? Well, I think she's been moved. Is that like a habit people have out there, moving, a body that's deceased? You're going to move it all different places? I mean, that's just not normal. Not normal at all. So I really think he knows that she's been moved around. He knows that. And all the talk with Cotton Simpson or whatever, I really think he could have been part of the moving part. Somebody could have contacted him and asked him to help move a body. So Tracy says, what makes me think Dawn and Candace is guilty, the way they act in first news interview, nod pranks. I hate when it jumps. I haven't never seen or heard of missing kids' parents acting like that. Tracy, you're dead on right there. You are dead on with that. Yeah, Rita, I think he did mention something about it. I think Dave Radar did mention something about her being moved. Yeah, the dog did hit on Fred's driveway. Yes. And, I talked about that early on. I think that might have just been a stopping point to make sure nobody was following them. It didn't show her scent didn't walk off. It didn't walk to the road. It didn't walk up the driveway. It didn't walk off into the ditch. I think she was carried and sat down there and then picked right back up. And I think it was kind of like a relay thing. But that's my opinion, But I really think there's a little bit of it that possibly might be true. Yeah, Kim. I mean, she could have been dropped off. Maybe her body was in that car that sped on past the police. I just don't understand why the police aren't going to question that person, because by golly, a child's missing and a person's going to go speeding off down the road. I mean, hello, they're trying to avoid you for some reason or another. Or maybe they just knew you and knew you weren't going to stop them, Ronnie Lawson. I don't know, guys. Like I said, I'm ready to start poking some bears around this case. Yes. Yeah, I agree with you. Something's not right with it all. All of it. All of it. But someday, hopefully, big prayers, crossing our fingers and our toes and whatever we can cross, our legs, whatever. But hopefully, one day we're going to figure this out. Kim said, what was weird, look at that guy that was tried to get the boy in the car not too far from Summer's house. If you watch Ziggy, because I will watch her from time to time. Well, she had gotten videos that day because a friend of hers and I guess Fred's had gone and picked Fred up because he could get away from the house that day and took him driving around back there. Well, he showed where that house was, where Don was talking to the kids, that day, or that little girl that day. And do y'all know that was not far from where Cotton Simpson lived? Now, Sonia, I have my thoughts on Grandma, and I'm kind of hoping my thoughts on Grandma are true, because if so, Summer would be alive. But I think that it's a very real possibility that Grandma was trying to get Summer away from there. It's a very possibility. Very much so a possibility. And if that's the case, when she took off with her trailer, then, Summer could have been in the back of that trailer. So, I don't know. Yeah. I really wonder. So, I just don't understand why a mother would leave her daughter when her daughter's missing after you've gone through it and you know what your daughter's going through, and you're just going to jet it on out of town. That don't even make sense, guys. No sense whatsoever. Nobody can explain that one to me. I don't even think Grandma could explain it to me to where I can understand. I mean, you're going to help your brother-in-law. I get it. Because he had surgery. I get it. But your daughter and your granddaughter missing? That should trump it all. That should just, yeah. Yes, Kim, there was two guys. One was Brandon Sherfy and the other one was Earl Taylor, I believe. Don't get me wrong. Don't take that 100%, but I do believe that's who those two guys were. And yes, it was a boy and a girl, I think, for that one. And that was the day after. Maybe she knows they did something and wants to get away from them. I know Dawn didn't like Grandma. And I think there would be no blood loss there, no worries, no nothing. So maybe Grandma was doing it to protect Summer because she knew something. I don't know. I wish we could talk to her because I definitely have questions. Definitely. But, do you believe anybody when they tell you an answer? Are you supposed to believe everybody, or do you just go with the flow? Go with what's going on right, at the moment. Because I don't know of anybody really that I would believe 100% in this case. I really don't. I mean, Cotton's family's come out and said, Fred's lying. Our father would never do that stuff. But yet, he's got charges for meth and making it. So, makes you wonder, was he still making it? Was he still messed up on that stuff? Was he a part of it? Was he maybe just a drop-off point for him to carry her up and hide her where nobody can find her? I don't know. But guys, it has been 3 years. And that's 3 years too long. Way too long. And I don't give a crap who is involved. You need your ass locked up if you're part of that. If you are part of Summer's story, or if you're part of her ending, you need to be locked up. Yeah, Sonia, you know, there was a live before he had said that on camera, but I remember him talking, and I don't remember whose channel he was on, but he was saying that he has seen those things before, on his runs to Knoxville. Did he sleep with those little baby girls in Knoxville? I mean, if you did, that's disgusting. You should be locked up. Karen, thanks for being here, girl. I am 100% with you on that one. Nobody in that holler is going to say a word because somebody they know is probably attached. Kim, I kind of believe some of what Fred says, but who do you trust? Who do you believe? It's crazy. That's like Andy B puts out his video today. He's going to get answers after him and Fred were on Ziggy's panel together. He was on the defensive, I think, because he felt like he was being blamed for Summer's death. But that's not what Fred was saying. He was saying he saw Andy on the holler on Ben Hill at 3:45 that day, and he said he was on camera as well. But yet, Andy didn't ask about the camera part. Andy didn't ask if they knew he was in the holler. I just thought that was very peculiar. But, he could have been back there for other reasons. Who knows? And that's the hardest part. We may never know that stuff. We may never know. Yeah, he called Chief Pruitt. Yes, Kim, I agree with you on that. It is all about the money, but you have to stop and think. No disrespect to anyone that lives out there, but I would say probably 90%, if not a little higher on that live in that holler, have that generational land and stuff. They live for the money because they don't have a lot. And as far as Dawn and Candace goes, they could have lived very wealthy. Because if you stop and think about how much it costs to just sheetrock one room, and he's sheetrocking houses, he's getting paid good money. We pretty much can guess that. But he also takes and spends a couple of thousands on hookers and drugs in Knoxville. So they weren't as poor as they seemed to be. But they were poor as they seemed to be because of Dawn. Does that make sense, guys? I don't know how to put it any differently. It's like they had the opportunity to be a lot better off. But the head of the household made the decision that, yeah, a big chunk of their money would go with him to Nashville or Knoxville. And how do you do that? How do you go and spend that much money doing drugs, banging girls, bringing home diseases. Why are you going to do that to your family? I don't know. Yeah. Yes, Rita, their money went for alcohol and drugs. They could have led a really good life. Their children could have been well taken care of. And, they didn't dress bad. They just didn't have how do you say that? Like, their hair could have been brushed. The boy's hair could have been parted over to the side and looked very nice, and those kind of things. Summer's hair could have been brushed to where it didn't look all knotted up like it did in the one picture we saw tonight. Unkept. Thank you, girl. Thank you, sister. She's a lifesaver, y'all. But yeah, they were very unkept. And I also think that's part of the parents, as far as the parents go, I think it's that learned behavior, and they didn't learn much because they didn't have much of an example to look up to or to strive to be more like. They didn't have that. And so they did what they knew, which wasn't a whole lot. So I don't know. It's crazy, but it is what it is. And with them being that dirty, Summer's face got dirt all over it. She was a little tomboy. I remember my mama always, we left the house, she had a little baggie and it had a wet wash rag in it because I, being the tomboy that I was going to end up crawling around on something or, get dirt on my dress, or I'd have dirt all over the side of my face, that kind of thing. So, yeah. That shit Candace had on with the picture of extra, she could have buttoned it up. Yes, Rita. But that's her dressing up. It's the way it is for them. And I know it's not close to what we would do. I mean, we would dress up a little more than that, but that's probably one of the nicer outfits that she has. But I do think they love their kids in their own way. I do think that their way was very, very, very different than my way. I think I raised my kids differently because I was raised that way. My mama made us say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, thank you, please. Here, let me help you out, that kind of thing. And I raised my kids that way. And we would go out to eat when our kids were little, and we would get compliments from people. We had our food paid for because they enjoyed watching our kids. And they were kids. So when they started getting really loud and rowdy or whatever, I would just have to, hey guys, hold off, back it down. You got to get them in order again because they're kids. But my kids had respect. They still do to this day. My son will go out of his way to open a door for a woman, and he don't even know her, but he's going to do it. During the ice storm we had a couple years back, my son's out there cutting down little trees on the back part of his property and taking firewood to the elderly people at our church because they needed it. Nobody asked him, but he did it. And it's all because he has manners. And that's the way I raised him to be. That's the person that I tried to create within him when he was young. But that was only because that's the way I was raised. So you think about it. Grandis raising Candace. Multiple people in and out of their lives. Things happening within the house. It was just a normal home life to them. And so therefore their kids are getting the same. You know, and it's really sad because I'm sure they loved their kids. And I'm sure they thought they were doing the best they could for their kids. But it wasn't quite good enough. So, I don't know, guys. It's a little crazy, but we're going to start talking about summer. We're going to start really pushing out some different narratives. People might get angry. They might get upset. But I'm going to start poking the bear a little bit here and there. Because if we keep pacifying everyone in this case, everyone that could be involved in this case, then they're going to be overlooked. So, are y'all with me? Y'all ready to poke some bears? I hope so. But anyways, birdies, hey, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. We're just about to wrap it up. But make sure you go back to the beginning and listen to that video that we did. Truth for Justice allowed us to have his video on. The more pressure, the better. All right, Rita. Let's do it. But guys, tomorrow night, 9:00, y'all got to come over to What the Fuss, because me and Ellen Bella's going to go live. We're going to talk about all the fuss going on, all the fuss stuff. And we're going to probably talk a whole bunch about Sebastian's case, because we both have questions. Oh, thank you, birdies. Well, you know what? Better late than never, right? I just appreciate you being here. It means a lot, so I do. I love you all so much. Y'all are so cool. Y'all are so good. Y'all put stuff in chat, and it's like, it's a great little conversation that we can have and just create. You know, and that's what it's all about. So, anyways, I'm going to get off of here. I got to get to work in the morning. It's been a little crazy bit of a week here, but last day tomorrow for work, and then I'll be off for the 3-day weekend. And all of you that are on a 3-day weekend, y'all make sure to follow us on What the Fuss. And if you subbed up already, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're going. And we're getting ready to go live. We'll have a guest with us. And we're working on some other guests to have come up with this. So we're going to have some good times over there. And it'll be where we're not being quite so serious, but we're going to be going quite the questions. Oh, thank you, Rita. I am tired. Today's been a hard day to get through. It's just, I'm tired. I got a headache. It's just crazy, but it is what it is. And here we go. So, guys, y'all are super great. Yes. Annabella, can you get the link, or do you want me to get the link? Let me see if I can do it. Hang on. I don't know if she's still in here. She kind of pops around. Gotta keep a tight leash on that Annabella. She's a great person, y'all. Super great person. You're eating chili. Well, rub it in my face, girl. Just rub it in. Nancy loves you more than she loves me. She made you chili. Okay, I'm getting it. I'll get it for us. I thought I would. Let me try this way. I'll get it, guys. Hang tight. Just hang on, hang on, hang on. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here. And we'll get it here. Okay. Alrighty. Vertical live streaming is here. That's what my... Oh, look at you, Annabella. Eating chili and you still beat me. There you go, guys. That's our link for What the Fuss. And like I say, we got some questions. So we're going to talk about all the things that don't add up, all the things that keep changing, and all the things that are just outright stupid. Oh, thanks, Tracy. We're just getting it going. We've only had one live so far. Annabella works at night, so it makes it hard. So, anyways. Oh, thank you, Sonia. Karen, what are you knowing about? What are you saying no for? Well, but tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we're going to go ahead and have some fun with it. We're going to drag Smiley over. We'll see who all we can't get to visit. Oh, it started to win off. I was like, well, what? What? So, okay, guys. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight from here. But just know you are also loved. I think about y'all all the time. Last week was youth fair, and it was some crazy busy going on in my life. Oh, it was crazy, crazy. And I kept trying to come on and do a live, and I was like exhausted when I would get home. But it was a fun time for the kids. And at the show, the sale, the Grand Champion steer sold for the most money that it's ever sold for in our county ever. So that was a good weekend for him. But yes, it'll start, Karen. Be patient. I don't know. I just did the same thing over again and it finally worked. So hang in there. So y'all be good. I love y'all so much. Y'all come visit us tomorrow night and y'all have some sweet dreams. Love and hugs, everybody. Bye.